Good morning, land of YouTube. Donnie Cosmic with my multivitamin energy drink. Healthy Warrior. Warrior. So who here, or who watching this video, has seen a movie where the gentleman goes, "Warriors, come out to play." He's got 3 bottles and he's clinking them together. Anyways, you know, a lot of this life could be deemed as a spiritual war. Weird, right? I saw something online that said World War III is spiritual. And I believe that there is a finality to life that happens in everybody's phases of existence. To no end do we find that we're on a path. And what path is that? Some elusively wander on their path, never really waking up to their true self. And they do that so many times, I believe. And then they finally wake up. It is a real true source of power. Actually rising right behind me here. Yeah. Like always, you know, kind of just, this one's making my beard glow. Look at that golden dawn of a new day right now. So, if you wander around and you're stumbling around with your eyes closed in the dark, how far are you going to get? Well, if you're someone that's born with no eyesight, you're going to get pretty far because you're going to learn how to adapt. If you're Helen Keller, holy shit, some crazy ass things have been capable from humans that have only a limited amount of range of focus. So if we're spread out everywhere, we're probably not going to be as focused as we should be on the right things because we've got our focus everywhere, right? I mean, look at fucking Stephen Hawking. Isn't it Stephen Hawking? It might not be Stephen Hawking. For some reason I see an E. And I'm like, is it Stephen Hawking? I don't know. For some reason that name's coming out of my head and I'm giggly because I think it was from the Pentaverant 5 or something like that the lady in the show, she said the wrong name, and then he's like, no, it's Ethan Hawking. And she's all, that's what I said, right? And I'm like, Stephen Hawking. And everybody's like, yeah, it's Ethan Hawking. But we know what you're talking about. Is it Ethan Hawking? Or is it Stephen Hawking? I just goof around. It makes me smile. Okay, so isn't it fucking hilarious? Okay, if you haven't seen the Pentaverant 5, go watch it. And then you'll know why I was giggling about that whole scenario just now. Other than that, I believe that there's a spiritual war that goes on between, let's say, a person and their self, their whole entire life. And we can examine that as in this. People can go through life at war with themselves their whole entire life. That could be deemed spiritual. Because, you know, if you go out and you do something you don't want to do every day, you're fucking at war with yourself. You're going to take it out in some kind of way harmful to yourself or others. They always say find your passion, find your true occupation that makes you happy if that's what this is all about. Some people find, oh God, I was going to make a really fucked up comment. and because it's people in general that do this, some people find that they like sucking dick. And guess where they end up? Getting taken care of. And all they do is suck dick. There's a lot of that going on right now. God, I'm fucking ridiculous. So I'm a little bit too blunt. And I'm just observative of the world and the state of the world. And then I see all this, there's a I'm sure it's like a multi-billion-dollar industry right now. The porn industry. It's real. It's there. So many people are doing it. And that's going on right behind closed doors. And then you get dating shit. Like, these women, I'm going to say it because I'm not interested in men. Men do the same weird-ass gay shit. Trust me, I've been hit on by both sexes. And I see it as a compliment from the dudes, but I'm like, dude, I'm not into dudes. Sorry. Just not into dudes. And they're like, but I'd love to suck your dick. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, bro. Thanks for being vulgar. It's a good thing you know how to be, but I'm not into you. I'm not into dudes. Blah, 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 yakety yak. Dear Lord, some of the shit I get in my head that I got to get out of my head. Okay, so boy, that totally sidetracked me. And now I'm lost mid-thought, mid-sentence, with no objective or point. And I could ramble on about something else, or I could try to stay focused and reflect on the fact that I think it's about things going on behind closed doors. And this is the point. I get right back to it, thank God. I'm not that dumb. You get dating apps. I do. And I get these dating scenarios where, women like to do this bad dog routine with men. Now, they do a bunch of weird fucking perverse shit right behind the door, right? Then you get the dating apps where they're automatically sending you their nudity immediately, right? And you're like, well, I guess you're going to be upfront and open about this. I've seen your naked body, right? Immediately, the dude's like, damn. And then, so I send back an equal picture of my chest, right? Because that's what I received, was a picture of a beautiful chest or whatever. I send back that. Now, I don't know what she was looking for, but then I start being very direct because this woman's clearly direct. But then it's like, oh no, I don't want you to be direct. I want to play a game with you. And then all of a sudden, I'm an asshole. Well, actually, when it was the other way around, I was just being very direct and open. And then it turns out that I was confronting the asshole in her. And so that's happened with several women on several occasions. And I really don't care. I'm not into playing a game no more. I haven't been playing a game for a long time. I have been removed from game mentality. So I no longer am vibrating into the pattern. Now, I get it with apps. There's no physical vibration that's really requiring somebody to find you on your phone. Like, someone finds me on their phone. I find you on my phone. That doesn't mean shit. That's probably just a test. In real life, however, I vibrate right into the right crowds to either learn from something, and most of it's been very beneficial. It's all the new relationships I'm creating that are super, super beneficial. Super high vibratory people that are only adding to enriching my life. That's where I vibrate, out here. But on the phone, there's a different story. So clearly, it's a message to me to eliminate certain things and certain behaviors on the phone. So I stopped the dating apps because, well, they're stupid. I mean, it's kind of dumb to get lost in a world to where you would like to think it's real and you'd like to play a game. And it's not real at all. It's it's an illusionary world. And I think that's creating a war within a lot of people. The war being that they'd really like to do something, so they go and pretend, they play a game, and then they don't commit. So they're really ultimately at war with themselves and the things that they really want to do, but they're not really willing to do. Bunch of tension. So, the things I do to relieve that tension, I confront every single situation immediately. I just see things differently. I don't give a fuck no more. I hit the bench press. I relieve all the stress hormones through exercise. I'm out here in nature, for the most part, observing it all in the background, even with my phone in my hand, venting my frustrations out into a device that I can share my mind with others. And as I do that, I grow. I become more healthy. I could suggest this for everybody. But ultimately, everybody's on their own fucking little path. They all have their own place. They all make up the structure of society that I get to walk around in. And people are at different stages of evolution all throughout the mill here. This mill known as life, like a grinder. Sometimes the grinder can grind you up, turn you into flour or powder, right? If you let it. So, it is a big, crazy, messy place if you let it get to that point. And if you don't, if you dominate your own self first, and you dominate your own life first, and you own your own self and your own life, and you know it, and you claim spiritual superiority over yourself, where do you lie then? Are you your own master? Because you have decided that no one else will master you? Or better yet, are you your own master with substance? Whatever it is, that vice. Now, even I have a vice. I have caffeine. And it does play with my mood sometimes. So, technically, caffeine is a mood or mind-altering substance. Odd. I mean, do I like the way it accelerates me? Hell yes, I do. It helps me, and it's really one of the least detrimental things I could ever do. Although it is a drug. It's a mood or mind-altering substance. So am I consuming it because it's the lesser of all evils? Hell yeah, I am. I don't want a substance in my body that's going to lead me to fucking making dumb choices, doing dumb shit, or becoming just a dum-dum. And then I'm out in society being dum-dum. Fuck no. I like to be on my A game. And for the longest time now, coffee has been king of the world, right? Coffee and oil are very close to each other as a trade object within the stock market. Big money, right? It's in everybody's home almost. Cool. I'm going to be there soon. I'll be in everybody's home, coming to a home near you. Maybe on the silver screen. In terms of some minor role. I'm not sure if I would like to be like a lead character in one of these motion pictures that I have in my head. I do see, however, a lot of these things happening with a subtlety. I like the Stan Lee idea to where, you know, you're like in the background of your own flick and just you're like some little tiny role and they're like, check it out, that's me. And they're like, that was you. And you don't tell anybody you wrote the fucking film or nothing like that. You get a fucking alter ego name on stage. And then they're like, damn, how do you get to be an extra in that flick, dude? That's a big box office thing. And I'm like, I got a friend. But really, secretly, you came up with the fucking creation that's on the screen, I think that'd be like the coolest thing. And then certain privileged individuals, they would get to know all the details, right? And it'd have to be kind of secretive, I believe, because if everybody knows who you are and thinks that they can go after you in a way of taking advantage of you, then that shit's real, and it happens, and it's sad. I mean, you can look at every single one of these famous individuals, and it's happened. Like, people, they put themselves in a position of being vulnerable, and then they're attacked. And so I'm naturally one of the most vulnerable individuals throughout my whole entire life. I've put myself in positions of being taken advantage of, abused, manipulated, lied to, cheated on, fucking drugged. I've been through all of these things, like the ringer. You know what a ringer is? Back in the day, they used to have a washing machine. It was a tub. It just had an agitator. And before that, they had washboards. And then they had a ringer, which was two very heavy-duty rubber, looking like rolling pins for baking, right? Squeeze together the clothing that you feed through it with a little handle to crank it. And it dries your clothes, or pre-dries them. Then you hang them up on your line, your linen line, clothesline, whatever. And you have clothespins. And that's how you would dry your clothing back in the day, without a automatic clothes dryer. Isn't that cool? We've just evolved so much that we don't need shit like that, or skills, or to even know what the fuck we're doing. Backbone if we need it. There's a lot of people right now in this world, though, I would say 50%, that do have those skills. They come from fucking third world countries where they've had to survive. They've had to go fucking so far for clean water. They've had to avoid sex like the plague, knowing that they're gonna die if they accidentally fuck. And they get AIDS is so rampant in that culture. Isn't that fucked? I see certain things designed in the background of human DNA as internal population control. It's in our DNA. How does one with a process of natural selection live or die? I mean, how do you really know? How does anything get cured? If we cured all diseases and everything, right? Well, pretty quickly, this place would be overrun with a bunch of fucking idiots that don't know anything about anything, because nobody really wants to learn anymore. Or do they? And we just haven't taught them. Let's find out. I'd like to see a show of hands, a study I'm conducting now of people who really would like to learn how to better their lives, how to better themselves, and how to better civilization around them. If anybody watched this video to this point, I'm going to kill it at 20 minutes for fun. If anybody watched this and would like to learn more about yourself first off, and why we tick as humans, raise your hand, comment, reach out, and maybe we can talk. I'm not trying to do this for profit. I'm doing this because I care about you, and I care about myself first. And if I don't make any sense, well, that's okay. But if for some reason something I have said stands out enough to spark your curiosity into a wanting to know more situation, let me know. Maybe I haven't said anything that's new to you, and maybe you think you're superior. That'd be cool. Let's talk. I'm open to learning. I like the idea of never ceasing with the amount of knowledge that I can cram into my head. In which case, it's not really going into my head anymore, but I could go there and then I'd lose you probably. Probably. Oh, I would probably lose you if I went super, super deep, because, oh, there's a lot of shit. So it's almost like a wager. It's like, hey, please converse with me. If you can't, okay, that's fine. If you're not really watching and you haven't watched the 20 minutes, maybe you don't have the time. At some point, someone's going to watch this and want to talk to me. There's a lot of quote-unquote esoteric information and other information that I have studied and crammed into my head for reasons of my own domination, my own one world government right here walking around in the flesh. Isn't that cool? How freedom can be attained to be free in your own skin? Huh. Some people are free, and then some people are still free with slavery attached. I could consider myself still a slave to caffeine. I mean, technically I don't really desire to stop, so it's not really a problem until I want to stop and can't. I have stopped in the past. I've gone through a 3-day withdrawal from caffeine, and I get a severe migraine. So I know what I'm looking forward to if I decide that caffeine's a problem and I want to stop. I've completed that mission before. It's not very hard. And then it's like, okay, now I have to filter through my items that I consume and make sure there's no caffeine. Whatever. I mean, I bounce back quick. I've done it. Oh, geez, probably 15 different times. Currently, I like the boost I get from caffeine. It helps me fire on all cylinders. Just fucking around. Look at that sun. All right, guys. I'm in this video short so I can post it. All the big ones don't get posted. It's been driving me crazy. I guess it's my service and or YouTube, one or the other. Something happened. I think it might have been part of the content I was releasing. It's a possibility. Either that or just, shit happens and I need high-speed internet at home to do this. That's a big one. All right. I love you all. Stay lit, stay up, and go outside and love somebody.